everyone, this is Master once again, and today we're going to look at making the FM bass sound for deep techno and techno using the FM synthesis inside of an operator once again. If you would have seen my previous tutorial where I showed you how to make the FM bass for deep house, which was quite simple and melodic. But today we will design a bass line which is simple but still has a lot of movement and high level of energy in it. So let's get into it. So this is how it's going to sound like by the end of it. I'm just going to play you the sound. Now with the drums. So that's how it sounds like. I'm going to turn off my bass line channel. And apart from this, I have a basic drum loop going on. This is my kick, open hat, and a clap. Very simple, nothing great, nothing fancy. Just a simple drum loop with a combination of kick, open hats, and clap. Now let's get into designing the bass line. I'm gonna load another MIDI track, load it in a default operator on this one. And unlike last time, this time we're gonna start with the sine waves. But before I get started, there are a couple of things you gotta make sure. First thing first, you want to make sure the voices are set to 1 because the bass is mono. Apart from that, make sure that your glide is on so that we can play the notes which are overlapping. And what glide will do is where the notes overlap, they will bend into each other. So let's make some notes that overlap so that I can show you how they bend into each other. The glide effects works really good for higher frequencies as well. So let's make a note in a higher frequency, see how the glide effect works. I mean, use the notes that synchronizes with your taste of music and your genre and the kind of music that you want to create. I like it like this, so I'm going to stick to this. So now coming back to operator. So right now my oscillator 1 is playing a sine wave, which is deep. Now with the oscillator 2, what I'm going to do is, if I load in the spectrum here, you can see my sound is pretty much peaking in the lower frequencies. So I've got enough harmonics in the lower frequencies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick to the sine wave on oscillator 2 as well, but I'm going to increase the chorus to maybe 2 so that the oscillator 2 plays at an octave higher. But remember, since we are doing FM synthesis, oscillator B is not actually playing any sound. It is just modulating the oscillator A. So also, I'm going to make the envelope of oscillator 2 more percussive so that it is very quick and reaches its peak right in the beginning and the decay is fast. So to do so, I'm going to bring the sustain down and I've made the envelope which is quite percussive. So now when I bring in the level of oscillator B, it is going to modulate the level of oscillator A. But since we're playing oscillator 2 at an octave higher, it's going to add a lot of middle and higher frequency content, and you can straight away see the difference here. See, so straight away we can see that when we bring the level of oscillator B up, it adds to a lot of harmonics from the sound coming out of oscillator A. Now, coming on to the third oscillator, instead of sine, let's choose a different waveform. You can experiment with any of the waveforms and choose the one that suits more your style of music and your taste of music. I feel sine 4 and sine 8 works the best for me. I'm gonna try with sine 8 first and see what results we get. Now I'm gonna bring the level of oscillator C up. The glide effects become much more prominent now, you see. I'm gonna fine tune a little bit as well. So we got a basic bass sound happening using the FM synthesis here in Operator. So I'm just gonna arrange my notes a little bit so I can show you what else you can do with this sound. Also, the possibilities are unlimited. If I play with the attack on oscillator B, you see how the sound will change. So by the end of it, it all comes down to your taste, your style, and the way you like your music to be heard. For the beginners, let's keep it simple for the time being. So now we can add a couple of effects to fatten up a bass a little bit. You can use any of the distortion plugins. I like Saturator. Let's bring in Saturator. Yes. Much fatter. But you got to keep an eye on your levels as well, that you're not peaking. Right now I'm using a limiter on master so that I don't peak, but it's a good idea to bring the level, keep the levels under control and not peaking. Then apart from saturator, we can use chorus as well. So bring in the chorus. I'm gonna, like in the previous tutorial I showed you, I'm gonna make an effect track out of it and have a dry and a wet chain. So dry chain will have no chorus absolutely. So the first things first, I'm gonna bring the high pass down to quite low. Say anything between 7 to 100 works the best. So now I'm going to combine the dry and a wet signal in a way that sits perfectly with my kick and the other drums. This is with the chorus, now without the chorus. I'm gonna bring the level of chorus down a little bit. Let's listen to it with the drums. Sounds pretty fat. And what you can do is how you can use this bass sound in your track is to create a little movement. You can either automate one of the levels, you can automate the attack on the oscillator, whichever you feel, or you can even automate the chorus as well. So it's up to you. So if the video was any helpful, you can hit the subscribe button and hit that bell icon so that you can get the notification every time I put up a new video. Till then, see ya.